Updated March 29, 2018, 8 hours 35 minutes and 30 seconds. Adelaide drivers don't have the best reputation when it comes to, well, driving. Even locals are willing to admit that skills like patience and vigilance are sometimes in short supply on South Australia's roads. South Australia is right up there with the worst, particularly when it comes to being impatient and lacking in courtesy, SA Police's then Commissioner Gary Burns told ABC Radio Adelaide in 2015. But how much truth is there in the claim that Adelaideans are not just bad drivers, but the most abysmal in the nation? That's the question put to us by one curious Adelaide reader, so we decided to take a look at the evidence. What is a bad driver? We went straight to the source, SA Police. SAPOL told me that in its view, bad was not necessarily a measurable quality. Of overarching importance to police is reducing fatal and serious injury crashes, and the factors that lead to those, often referred to as the fatal five: distraction, speeding, dangerous road users, seatbelts and drug driving, a spokeswoman said. SA's Royal Automobile Association (RAA) offers a broader definition. It lists a lack of knowledge of road rules, a lack of patience, being unable to deal with changing conditions, a sense of entitlement and a lack of common courtesy. And there are plenty of dash camera videos exposing all sorts of dodgy driving behaviour in Adelaide, from running red lights or cutting others off, to the downright dangerous and utterly silly. The fact that there are no less than 3 pages on Facebook dedicated to bad South Australian drivers suggests there might be substance to the widely held suspicion. I think Adelaide has a belligerence about itself with driving that I have never seen anywhere else, driving safety expert Tony Hastings told Curious Adelaide. In Sydney and Melbourne, the density of traffic dictates that you must cooperate. The lanes are not the width of the lanes we are used to in South Australia, and yet collisions between vehicles in that close proximity are really quite rare. So, what do the statistics say? Nationally, the number of people killed in car crashes each year tends to be around 5 per 100,000 people. South Australia recorded exactly 5.0 road fatalities per 100,000 population in 2016, slightly below the national average of 5.4. The worst state or territory was the Northern Territory with 18.4. The more populous states of New South Wales, Victoria and Queensland recorded 5.0, 4.8 and 5.2 fatalities per 100,000 population respectively, while Western Australia, Tasmania and the ACT had 7.4, 7.1 and 2.3. But the RAA's Senior Manager of Road Safety, Charles Mountain, urged caution when interpreting the data. In some instances, it's simply a case of a momentary mistake that leads to a fatal outcome, he said. Motor Accident Commission (MAC) research found attitudes to speeding have improved in South Australia over the previous decade. MAC found a significant increase in the number of motorists who stick to the speed limit, from 1 in 5 in 2008 to more than 3 in 5 in 2017, but more than 242,000 traffic expiations were issued in 2016-17 alone from speed cameras, which is a lot, given that there are just over 1.2 million licence holders in South Australia. More than 5,000 drivers were caught drink driving with an illegal blood alcohol concentration in South Australia in 2016. According to MAC's data, 37% of drivers or motorcycle riders who were killed in crashes from 2012 to 2016 were on drugs or had been drinking, or both. Methamphetamine, or ice, has quickly become the most commonly detected drug in South Australian motorists, 2,903 of whom tested positive to ice in 2016 compared to 533 in 2010. What do insurers say? A 2013 study conducted by financial website CanStar found South Australians were the most crash-prone drivers in the nation, with 8 insurance claims per 1,000 registered vehicles. Victoria and New South Wales had just below 8 claims per 1,000 vehicles, while the ACT had the fewest claims at just 0.37 per 1,000 vehicles. Given we tend to think of merging lanes as one of the worst skills on show in South Australia, I asked the Insurance Australia Group, IAG, about that. IAG calculated that while merging collisions were one of the more typical claims it received, South Australians only made 110 claims for that type of crash in 2017, compared with 450 in New South Wales. But given that New South Wales has a population roughly 7 times that of South Australia, the figures don't bode all that well for SA. How bad is SA's road rage? When it comes to road rage, Adelaide drivers were recently rated the second worst behind Canberrans in the country in a survey by insurance provider AMI. More than 83% of respondents in Adelaide said they had experienced road rage, noticeably higher than the national average of about 75%. Another survey of RAA members in South Australia found more than 85% of respondents had copped abuse from other road users, including obscene gestures, aggressive honking, tailgating and verbal insults. Almost 60% were even willing to admit they had directed the same kind of behaviour towards others. South Australian drivers have some of the strangest habits I've seen anywhere in the world, said Tony Hastings, who chairs the defensive driving organisation Drive to Live. He pointed to the fact that many seem unwilling to let drivers cut in when the roads are congested, but will instead accelerate to close the gap you are trying to get into. We are also prolific at ignoring road rules, and the most obvious of those would be the keep left unless overtaking rule. Despite passing their driving tests, many motorists actually do not seem to understand the road rules.